99.3 The Vine. Live it up.
Well, I've got Jane Ehrman here from Images of Wellness. It is Wellness Wednesday. We're just on a little bit earlier today, but that's all good. We get to talk about all sorts of great things. So, Jane, I want to get right into it because I know we've got a lot to talk about today. People share that they eat and eat and eat until they feel full, and then a short time later, feel uncomfortably full. I think I had this very same experience on Friday night, actually. Huge meal, and then got home and I was like, oh, it was a great meal, but it doesn't feel all that great. It seems challenging to know when enough is enough. Some people say that they are stress eaters. I think we've all done that, the bag of M&Ms at the desk or what have you, meaning that they eat when they're stressed. What can you tell us about hunger and our eating habits?
Well, Robin, a lot of us have lost touch with recognizing our body's signals around hunger. Part of it may be just we're on autopilot and we feel something and we just go do it, whatever it is. Many of us were taught also to ignore our body's signals and eat everything on our plate. You know, the Clean Plate Club.
Right.
Anybody out there on that one?
There's starving children out there.
Or to eat until we're full. Well, actually, about 15 minutes later, when you feel full, you become uncomfortably full because it takes about 15 minutes for the message to go from your stomach to your brain saying, we've had enough, and then to come back and have you change your behavior. So by then, it's too late and you're uncomfortably full. And I'll talk more about that later.
Well, what's the best way to recognize our body's signals around hunger?
That's a great question. Did you know that the normal size of your stomach is the size of your fist? So make a gentle fist and look at that. That's not very big.
No, and I picture some of those plates at like Black Bear Diner or something.
Exactly.
They're overflowing, Cheesecake Factory. They're huge.
Absolutely.
And do they really expect one person to eat all that?
Exactly. That's a whole other thing here. So our stomach can stretch up to 5 times its size, and it takes about 3 weeks to bring it back down to normal size, and it can bag right out with 1 or 2 huge meals. Just think about Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh.
So look at it this way. If you know how the pain scale is 0 to 10?
Right.
0 means no pain. 10 is most amazingly terrible pain. Mm-hmm. All right. Do the same thing with the hunger scale. 0 to 1 on that scale is you are starving. You're ready to eat the woodwork. Okay? That's terrible. So you've waited too long to eat. 2 to 3 is you're good and hungry. Go eat. 4 is, you could eat something, but it's not necessary. You could really wait. 5, this is where people don't recognize. 5 is satisfied. You're no longer hungry. That means there's no sensation in your stomach. It doesn't
so you should stop.
Stop. Doesn't feel empty.
We keep pushing.
Doesn't feel full. It's just, 6 through 7 is now you feel that pressure in your stomach because you're starting to stretch it. And 8 to 10 is overly full and you may feel like you're going to toss your cookies.
Oh, gosh. Well, how can we use this hunger scale now that we know what it is?
So throughout the day, check in with your body when you're feeling hungry. Are you hungry? How hungry are you? Notice if your stomach's growling, it means it's kind of empty. Be mindful about the way you eat. Pay attention to what's happening in your stomach, and part of it is eating slowly. When you're at a 0 to 1, you eat fast.
Right.
And you eat more than you need because you just can't stop yourself. You've been so hungry. So chew well, pay attention, put your fork or spoon down between bites. Check in. How's my stomach feeling? Am I still hungry?
So have a European meal.
Absolutely. So check in some more. Am I still hungry? Oh, I'm not hungry anymore. But I like the way this food tastes.
Right.
There's the emotional piece. Mm-hmm. Eating because it tastes good, or we're bored, or everybody else is still eating and you are ready to stop, but you don't want to just sit there, so you start nibbling on your food.
Right. And that's kind of unhelpful, I would think, right?
Yeah.
Well, some of us find ourselves munching kind of late at night, right? Mm-hmm. While we're watching something on TV or at different points of the day, standing in front of the cupboard or the open refrigerator, just looking for something, anything to eat. Why do we do that? How can you tell the difference between body hunger and stress eating? Or I'd even add in boredom.
Another good question. So when you're hungry, you generally know what you're going to go and get. You look I'm going to eat this. This is the leftover. Or I'm going to order this. But when it's stress eating, you find yourself standing in front of the cupboard, the open cupboard, or the refrigerator, looking for something to wave at you. What am I hungry for? What?
Pick me.
What looks good? Yeah, that kind of thing. That's the emotional stuff. That's the kind of thing to be aware of. And late at night, you're actually tired, and your body is saying, look, if you feed me some food, it wakes me up and I can stay awake. But you could also just go to bed. So it's being aware of those kinds of things. So it's recognizing our emotions. Are we tired, bored, stressed out, irritated, lonely, sad, feeling edgy? We're looking for food to comfort us. And honestly, food can't fix those uncomfortable feelings. It fixes it for about 20 minutes, but it doesn't go away. It's just stuffing down the emotion under the food.
Right. Now, if you are just tuning in, I'm talking with Jane Ehrman from Images of Wellness. And currently we are talking about telling the difference between body hunger and stress eating and just how we can kind of monitor this just a little bit better. What else do you have for that?
So think about how food has been a part of our lives. When little children are fussed, we give them cookies or candy, something to shift their attention and quiet them. A little treat, yeah. Food has been used for comfort since we were born. And over time and years, food becomes the go-to for comfort from stress or sadness, loneliness, entertainment, even pain. When people are in chronic pain, food can be a comfort to them. So we also eat as part of celebration. That's what we do as humans. I'm not at all suggesting that we should stop having food when we celebrate. That's not where I'm going, okay? I'm not a Debbie Downer here. Enjoy good food and celebrate. It's about recognizing what's going on in you. Recognizing if and when you're hungry and eating only as much as you need, as opposed to going beyond that. So emotional eating is when you find yourself standing in front of that open refrigerator or cupboard trying to decide what looks good. And we humans are wired to want sugar, fat, and salt. And the food industry knows it.
So terrible. Why are we hardwired like that?
Well, that's just how we are.
Why can't we be hardwired to want broccoli?
Well, we aren't, and for people who are, I really do therapy with them. I had a colleague say one time, well, I'm stressed, I'm hungry for broccoli. I said, I can work with you on that because that's not normal.
But it's good. I mean, I wish I could say the same. Yes. Gosh, it would make my life so much easier.
Oh, okay. So generally, we're looking for something salty, sweet, savory, crunchy, creamy when we need to feel good.
Right. Chips and ice cream.
Yeah.
Well, how can we use the hunger scale to eat in moderation or release extra weight?
Another good question. So pay attention, again, to your body signals. Avoid ever getting to a 0-1 where you're hangry, you're starving, because, again, you eat too much, and you tend to eat anything you can get your hands on.
And you're not very pleasant to be around usually
I'm
either.
certainly not. No. When I cross that line, you better get me food. Pay attention to the change in your hunger when you are and stop at a 4. If you're looking to release excess weight, stop when you feel like, I could eat a few more bites, but stop there because that's enough, and you're helping to get your stomach back to its normal size. Stay hydrated because oftentimes our body is actually thirsty. It needs water, but it comes off as hunger. So be aware of that.
And water's good for you.
Yes. Eat foods that'll help you stay satisfied longer. So healthy fats like avocado, nuts, nut butters, fatty fish, salmon, trout, things like that, eggs. Eat an orange. It takes longer to digest, and it'll help you be more satisfied.
Oh, that's great.
Those are important things to do. Eat from a smaller plate. You mentioned in the beginning how the sizes of dinner plates, we go out to eat somewhere, they're like platters.
Right.
It was not like that 10, 15 years ago.
No.
So oftentimes at home, I just eat on a bread and butter plate.
Oh, I've gone down to a salad plate before. I don't think I've gone as far as the bread and butter plate.
Well, you might, people are like, well, that's a small plate. What are you doing? When you think about portion size, this is important. Did you know that a half a cup is a portion size for ice cream? not a mixing bowl in my husband's case.
No, not an entire pint. Oh,
Not an
CJ's not
entire
happy
pint.
about that.
Yeah.
He's
Isn't
giving
that-
us the what the heck look.
Yeah, a normal portion of a steak is the size and thickness of your palm, not the size of a small platter.
Oh.
So we've gotten used to, both physically and psychologically, that bigger is better. Think about when we eat out, check the menu ahead of time. Consider maybe getting several sides, like some veggies and salad and appetizer, instead of an entree. Or packing after you get your food, ask your server, could you please give me a to-go box and put half of it in there? Most of us have really good manners, so we're not going to eat out of the to-go box at the restaurant.
No, not really. But then you not only save money because you've got your lunch for tomorrow.
Exactly.
And you've only eaten half.
And it was all you really needed.
Winning.
So when you're out and about doing errands, running around, to avoid getting to that 0-1, pack a little portable snack. Could be nuts and dried fruit. Could be a portable fruit like apple or grapes, things like that. A bottle of water, a healthy power bar so that you avoid getting too hungry. And many of us have cravings for certain foods. Those foods generally, again, we're not craving broccoli, unfortunately.
Gosh, why
So
not?
seeing the ads on TV can trigger us. You know, the food that they show on TV, the glistening, dripping butter or cheese, that's chemistry, actually. It's really not real. But it gets you going. Look at you.
It does get
Look
you
at
going. I honestly, those marketing things, they
Yeah, they know what
absolutely
they're
work.
doing.
I've had those moments where I've seen a commercial and have been thinking about it the next day.
Absolutely. They know how to get us.
do.
So a craving lasts about 15 minutes. Get up and get out of the room.
Not 24 hours.
No, unless you keep making yourself think about it. So
Right.
step out of the room, get some fresh air, drink some water. Generally, if you drink half a glass of water, that will help you shift. Also, especially if you're craving sweets, is when generally we're not in a good mood and we're looking for sweetness outside of ourselves. Focus to the gratitude. What are the things for which you're grateful? When you focus on and allow yourself to relive the things for which you're grateful, really pulling up that energy, it breaks up the craving. There's science behind that. So go count your blessings.
That's a great idea. I mean, if you're not craving anything, you're not craving food, right?
Yeah.
Well, I've been talking with Jane Ehrman from imagesofwellness.com. It's part of our Wellness Wednesday. We've been talking about food and stress hunger, body hunger, and stress eating, all these different complicated things, but some really great tips. So, Jane, let's wrap this up and can you give us some key takeaways about body hunger and stress eating?
Sure. Learn to recognize and pay attention to your body's hunger signals. Identify where you are on that hunger scale, 0 to 10, and manage your portion sizes at home and when you eat out. Relieve your stress in healthy ways. Go for a walk, work out, talk to a friend, write in a journal, meditate, watch a movie that helps you express the feelings that you're experiencing. And if you need to get some help from a professional.
It's always a great idea. I mean, when things go from bad to worse, getting some help from a professional is always a good plan.
That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. Well, I love that you're here for us here at The Vine and sharing all your great tips every other Wednesday, and can't wait to hear the next one. Thanks so much for joining us. This has been Jane Ehrman from Images of Wellness here with me. This is Robin on The Vine.
99.3 The Vine is proudly owned and operated locally by Wind Down Media.